Well, it's the top of the hour, and as we come on air, our weather impact team is still tracking dry conditions across Arkansas. With me is meteorologist Tracy Bean. And Tracy, our team spent a lot of time yesterday working to figure out this scene right here.
Yes, unfortunately, this has become an everyday occurrence at this point, and it just takes very little for these fires to ignite and then to spread very quickly because everything is just so incredibly dry. It has been 25 days since we have had any significant rainfall. 75% of the state under a burn ban. You can see we've got 63 counties, and if you're not in a burn ban, you are certainly under wildfire risk. We are looking for more counties to be added, but again, this is going to be something that's going to stick around until we really start to see significant rainfall in the forecast, but the entire state needs to be on guard for this. And again, this has become an everyday occurrence for these grass fires. Now, currently we're at 84 degrees. It's not feeling very October-ish out there, and we're going to see those temperatures continue to climb. Looking for our high today right around 89 degrees. We'll see some clouds start to push in a little while, but overall it's going to be a nice day. It's just, again, not going to be a very fall day. The next couple of days we're going to be pushing those record limits. We're looking at those mid to upper 80s, and we haven't seen a 90-degree temperature past October 23rd ever in central Arkansas. So hopefully we can keep that streak going and stay at 89 today, but I'll have that full forecast and let you know about some rainfall that we think might be headed our way mid next week.
To early voting.
We want our system to work. We want people to believe and know that our system works.
Just 3 days into early voting, and top state leaders are working to ensure confidence in Arkansas's voting system. It's something that's a concern from people that are at the national and state level. For that reason, Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin is looking to establish an efficient process by considering what you have to say. Last year, Griffin introduced an election integrity unit, allowing voters to report any suspicious activity.
People hear things that spreads on social media, Facebook or wherever. You know, that's not always accurate. Sometimes it is, often it isn't. We like to look into that and just make sure that we know what's going on.
Now, with that, more counties are offering extra transparency, like in Saline County, where the election night process is being live streamed. Now, continuing in your Election Central, we turn now to a look at how things are moving on the race to Washington.
The Trump campaign is pushing back against a New York Times interview with the former president's chief of staff, John Kelly.
He's certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
The retired general also said Trump demands loyalty to himself over the Constitution, and in response to Trump's recent comments about using the military against domestic opponents, Kelly said advisors repeatedly told Trump not to do that.
Originally, the conversation would be, Mr. President, that's outside your authority, or, that's a routine use. You really don't want to do that inside the United States. But now that he's talking about it as I'm going to do it is again, it's disturbing.
A Trump campaign spokesperson dismissed the interview and told the Times Kelly had, quote, beclowned himself.
Back in August, Trump called Kelly, quote, dumb and a weak bully. Last night on the campaign trail, the former president made more disparaging comments about other retired generals who served in his administration.
What a stupid group of people they were. Mattis, Milley.
On the Democratic side, vice presidential nominee Governor Tim Walz cast his ballot in Minnesota Wednesday morning.
John Kelly's, who I thank for showing the courage to come forward, truly telling the world, those closest to Donald Trump know how dangerous he is.
Tuesday night, the Harris-Walz ticket got an assist from former President Barack Obama, who rallied in Detroit with Eminem. Tomorrow, Obama will rally with Vice President Kamala Harris for the first time in Atlanta. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, turning now to trending headlines around the state, starting with a new program at UAMS offering expanded health care for the Marshallese community. The non-English speaking natives of the Marshall Islands first migrated to the U.S. in Arkansas in the 1980s. New data indicates a lack of health resources like milk for new moms who identify with the culture. UAMS took that into consideration and will use a community health worker to meet the needs of new moms.
These are wonderful for this community because they're collectivist, which means they value group over individual. And we know from birth record data that these women have a lot of barriers when attending maternal health visits. So this was an opportunity to do an intervention where they could actually come to maternal health appointments and do it in a group. And so it's demonstrated really successful and feasible.
UAMS says they also hope the program can tackle rising obesity among Marshallese people. Well, also trending, our most viewed story online right now features an outstanding natural state discovery that could meet the world's lithium demand 9 times over. In fact, just yesterday we learned the southwestern portion of the state is home to lithium reserves estimated between 5 and 19 million tons. While it may be good news for the future, the problem is now finding a way to extract the natural resource. A hearing is already in place next week to determine the costs for mining. Now, the THV 11 team received a statement from the United States Geological Survey Director. He points toward lithium being critical for U.S. energy and says its production in the U.S. has, quote, implications for employment, manufacturing, and supply chain resilience, end quote. And a warning being sent out from the CDC. People are reportedly falling sick after eating a McDonald's quarter pounder. With one person dying, Nancy Chen explains how Mickey D's is handling an E. coli outbreak.
It's the world's largest fast food chain with more than 40,000 restaurants serving billions of burgers worldwide every year. But now investigators are working to confirm the food source that made dozens sick. The CDC says that 49 people have been infected with E. coli so far, and most reported eating a quarter pounder from McDonald's before falling ill. McDonald's says it's pulled the burger from menus in impacted locations, and that it's linked a subset of cases to slivered onions sourced from a single supplier, which serves 3 distribution centers.
Other beef products at McDonald's, including the cheeseburger, hamburger, Big Mac, McDouble, and the double cheeseburger, are not impacted.
So far, 1 death has been linked to the outbreak. 10 people have been hospitalized, including a child who developed severe kidney complications.
People can get really sick from this. The symptoms include diarrhea, which could be bloody, abdominal cramping, vomiting, fever, and you can get severely dehydrated.
The same E. coli strain caused 4 people to fall ill and die after an outbreak impacted dozens of Jack in the Box restaurants in the early 90s. Food safety advocate Darren Detweiler's 1-year-old son was among them.
I would imagine that the conversation around food safety is going to change within the industry after the news of McDonald's outbreak, not because of the ingredient, not because of the specific pathogen or the numbers, but because of that idea of no company is immune.
In a statement, McDonald's says it's working to replenish supplies of the quarter pounder in the coming weeks. It added the company will continue to cooperate with the CDC as it works to restore its full menu. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Well, this election season could be a reason for stress. Just ahead, we explain why and how you can stop it.
It's unusually warm for October. We've got temperatures right around that 90-degree mark this afternoon across the state, and those upper 80s will continue. Stay with me. We're going to talk about when we can expect fall to return to Arkansas and a little bit of rain as well.